Akram, how are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, after your performance yesterday, which was marvelous, I might say. And how do you feel?
I feel really nice. I feel really good because I think the audience were very supportive. It's really nice when you give a lot and you also receive the same back. And so it was, and I think the Ottawa audience are quite. It's an interesting mix because you have a lot of people coming from Montreal and different parts, and then you have the Ottawa people, and so together they create a very kind of knowledgeable bunch of contemporary dance.
And what about Ottawa? Ottawa কেমন লাগে?
বেশি সময় থাকে না এখানে, সো আমি যখন আসি একদিন আছি তারপর পরের দিন অনুষ্ঠান, ওটা পরের দিন অনুষ্ঠান, তারপর next day I have to fly away. Usually when I come to the city, I arrive, then you have to adjust, so that evening you're adjusting, the following day you have a show or a rehearsal, day after that you have another show, and the next day you leave. So you get to see more of the kind of early morning before you go into the theatre, and then you come out in the middle of the night. So
late night and early morning, nothing in between.
No, but I like the place where we're performing. That area is quite nice.
It's beautiful. That's the downtown area.
Downtown,
One of the things about you I've noticed, when you're speaking, it's not only you're speaking with your mouth, your eyes are talking, your hands are talking, your whole body is just flowing, just like when you dance. How do you do this?
I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm for sure inspired by other artists who do it. And I think if you believe in something, your whole body will speak. And the body isn't just about hands or just about the legs or the arms. It's the face, it's the whole. And because I was thankfully trained in a dance form that I like, which is Kathak. My mother, our amma, actually push করেছে আমাকে ছোট কালে, say about 7.
Wow.
And so she really pushed me. And so she was inspired by seeing my guru, Sri Pratap Power. And so I studied with him for many years, and then went to India for a little bit. And so she's been my biggest inspiration. Initially she wanted to push me, and then I started to get the hang of it.
Oh, that's good. So do you visit Bangladesh?
Sometimes. I used to go when I was younger. Now I find it difficult to go.
Why though?
Political reasons. I think the art, for me, the art is in a very bad way. And there's such talent in Bangladesh. But I just feel like, but I suppose it's like everywhere, but I'm more sensitive when I go to Bangladesh because it's my parents' home, so it's an origin of me. Or I originate from there. And so when I go there, there's always one artist trying to bring the other artist down, the other artist trying to bring the other artist down, rather than encouraging the young. I don't know, there's not this openness. I'm talking from a very naive perspective because I don't know Bangladesh well enough. But whenever I go, I feel walls come up. And that's really sad because when I go to India, and in India, of course, you have, masters of the arts. And so in India, it's for me, it's more open. But maybe it would be different for Indians. I don't know. It's interesting. Art has so many different possibilities, and when you're young, you want to always go for the thing that is the most exciting, and from that vision my excitement was to control speed. I was fascinated by how you go into chaos and stillness in a very short space of time. So how you would accelerate and decelerate speed and control speed through using the body and momentum. And then the older I got, like each year, I felt 10 years older. I felt like, okay, you know, there's other things in dance. So abhinay is something I really, abhinay is in the expressions. And yeah, and so I look at other things, grace, gestures, and I'm more into storytelling now.
When I was watching it yesterday, one of the things that inspired me was, I guess, before I knew what it was, from what you have told the audience at the end, when I was watching it, this is the view I got, was the fact that one person fights within themselves. And sometimes it really doesn't matter the color. People always run into the same problem, whether you're black, you're white, you're brown, or you're anything. And why call it that name, the title?
Why call it 0 degrees?
Yeah.
Well, because first of all, the first point you made about that everybody can connect to it, I think so, because at the end of the day, we are all bound by our passport. So we're bound by a passport, which is bound to a country. It's not bound to the world. It's bound separately. We're immediately separated. The second I have a British passport means I'm British, and of course my parents are Asian, Bangladeshi. So, you know, and so people define you in a certain box. And so 0 degrees was the frustration, in a way, of Sidi Larbi, who's the other choreographer, and myself, because he's Flemish and Moroccan, and I'm British Bangladeshi. And so when I'm in England, as I was saying yesterday in the talk, when I'm in London, I feel more Bangladeshi with my English friends. There's something that Bangladeshiness comes out. And when I'm in Bangladesh, I realize how much more British I am.
Why is that?
Well, because we're a new generation of, and I would call it a generation of, which is more like a khichuri. You know what I mean? Biryani. So it's a mixture of so many different things, because I went to school with, and I think my generation feels in the West has this experience all the time, where my neighbors are, you know, from Africa, my other neighbors are from China, and so we all go to the same school. And so we all grow up with these different cultures. So London particularly, I mean, I can only speak for London because I was born and brought up there, but London is like a melting pot of these different cultures. And so, you know, yeah, I don't know why, but I always feel I see the opposite side. My opposite side comes out when I'm in a particular country.
I guess being in London and mentioning it as like a melting pot, you still held on to that root of yours, being Bangladeshi.
Yeah, but that's through my mum. My mother refused to speak to me in English because she knew I would learn English at school. So she would only speak to me in Bengali. And so, you know, from a very young age, and my mother was a huge fan of Rabindranath Tagore. And she studied literature at Dhaka University, so she wanted me to kind of keep a connection with her. And actually, most of my training was by not training, but by being in the atmosphere of the community, the Bangladeshi community. My training was performing in. I have to give thanks to the performances that I did on these small festivals, these kind of mela that we used to have, because that's where you test. It's very easy to come to a performance like this, and because your audience are trained. Your audience are trained to sit down quietly and watch. When you perform in front of 1,000 or 2,000 people, and they're all talking and shouting, to get their attention is really hard. In a park, I mean, you know, we call it like, okay, that's the unprofessional group, but that's where my training began.